What's up, guys? It's Mitch with Mindset Fitness. Today I'm here with my buddy Juice, aka John, aka Sully, the great one.
AKA Lootbox TV.
Yeah, Lootbox TV, man. I've known this guy for a long time. Over the next 45 days, we're taking John through a complete transformation. He's been in shape, been out of shape. Now we're getting him right back into the best shape of his life. So today we are at the grocery store. Woo! Sent him over his meal plan earlier. I'm going through it right now. We're going to go through, and the point of this video is to show how an average guy can just transform your diet, just a little tweaks here and there in order to make bigger changes. We're not trying to eat like a bodybuilder, although there are a lot of similarities. This video is for the average guy who wants to get in shape, lose weight, and we'll add all the workout stuff later on, but today we're just gonna focus on the food. So let's get started.
My favorite part. All right. Well, I'm only shopping for a week. It's only 1 week.
It's only a week. We're gonna keep it simple. So an apple in a second meal. I usually like adding fruit into the diet. A lot of people stay away from fruit when they're dieting, but it's extremely important for, there's more fructose that's inside of fruit, which is metabolized more in the liver. So I like having it in there because it just helps with overall metabolism. So we add fruit in the diet once, sometimes twice into a diet, just depending on what we're trying to do. So for John this week, we're just gonna do simple apples. Any apples you like, Ralph?
Granny Smith.
Granny Smith?
The green.
Green, good old green sour apples. We're just gonna get 7 of these, one for every day of the week, and that's it. So we have spinach in his diet, which is a mix. So usually when I check for this, if there's a lot of condensation down at the bottom, you'll know when it starts to get bad, when it gets like soggy. So try and find some that have as little as possible, but they're not all gonna be perfect. You see how much is in that one?
Yeah.
That first one I picked up is probably the best, honestly. So we'll go with that. Actually, I'm gonna get 2 of these just to make sure you have enough. Even like a full handful of spinach is like 7 calories, so you're getting a ton of nutrients, and it's might as well be like, might as well not have any calories. Better one. Nice and fresh, nice and green. So as many dark green veggies as possible are the best. I like mixing up the veggies from time to time to have different colors of the rainbow. They're all going to have different micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, all those things. But we have spinach in his diet for this one. He's going to be putting it in his first meal. And a tip for veggies too, if you're cooking them, I would add them kind of towards the end, especially with spinach. So I'm gonna have him, we're doing what, eggs first thing in the morning. So when he adds spinach to it, it's gonna be not at the beginning where it shrivels into nothing, but somewhat about halfway through towards the end, because we're not trying to heat it up too hot, because when it gets too hot, you're losing those minerals and micronutrients, and we don't want that. So we wanna keep them somewhat in leafy form, but they don't have to be like shriveled into nothing, you know? Yeah, turkey is usually 85-15, so that's 1 pound. These are, I think, 2.5. Oh, this is 3. Sweet. Okay, even better.
So we just get one of these bad boys?
I think you might need more than one. Well, 40 to 48 ounces, but I want you to weigh it after it's cooked. That's one thing. Depending on the food, when you cook it, it's going to change in weight. So what I like to do is just keep it consistent across the board, is to weigh your food after you cook it. And that way you're actually getting that those nutrients in there too. And whatever it is, just don't go back and forth between weighing it before and weighing after. Whatever it is, just keep it consistent, and then you can adjust your calories from there. So we have 48 ounces. I think we should get, we may not need all that, but just for money's sake, may not need all that. Let's just get 2, and you can keep one frozen. Or use some of it and wrap the rest of it up. Ground turkey is super easy to cook, and if you want to lean it out and make it, it goes the same thing with ground beef. If you want to make it even leaner than what it is, cook it up about halfway through, put it in a strainer in the sink, rinse it out with water, put it back into, so it'll cook up more, get more juices out, and you can lean down something that's even, 75-25% fat. So 75 lean, 25% fat. You can lean that down extremely lean just by doing that process over and over again. You're not going to have as good of amount of quality beef or turkey, but if you want to make it leaner, that's just a trick to do so. Kyle, because Pringles are life. Just kidding, we're not getting Pringles today. We're getting almonds. One of the better fat sources. If you can have nuts in your diet, it's one of the best that you can have. It's gonna have a little bit of carbs in there too, but I consider these almonds as a fat source. So having those healthy fats in your diet is huge. Let's see, we have that. So that'll be in your last meal with the chicken we'll get later. A little sore still, bro. Guarantee there's a hand mark on my chest right now. Red.
So is there anything particularly to look for when purchasing like almonds in a pack, like things to try to?
I'm glad you asked that. So you want basic almonds. So you don't want to have, I mean, they're going to come in all types of flavors. They're going to have like cinnamon. Sometimes there's like sugar added to them. Your best bet is to have regular almonds, or sometimes even better is just dry roasted almonds. So they have a little bit, I think regular almonds almost have somewhat of a chew, a slight little chew when you eat them, and then the roasted ones are like a straight crunch. So depending on the texture that you like, I would go for those. I would kind of stay away from the salted, because I'm gonna have John add a little bit of regular salt to his meals, and I'll explain that when we get to it. But that's all you need for the almonds. I would just stay away from sugary stuff, because then you're adding too much sugar to a fat food. You don't want sugar and fat together. Why do you think donuts and pizza are bad? Sugar or carbs and fats are really, really high. And that's a huge tip. Try not to mix them both together. If they're good food sources, then that's fine. If there's a little bit of fat but more carbs, you just don't want both of them to be very, very high at the same time.
So what you're saying is no donut pizzas?
Yes, no donut pizzas.
Rice one?
Yeah, so I mean, if you have a mix of just a wild rice and stuff with brown rice, the difference is, I mean, it's how fast or slow do you want it to digest. His rice, I believe, I put it in his pre-workout meal, so yes, it is. So what I wouldn't want to do, since this meal is right before he trains, I don't want a slow digesting brown rice. That's going to be sitting in his stomach. It could expand a little bit more. We want something that's going to get into his bloodstream to give him a little bit of a boost of energy. Of course, we have carbs in his diet still. I'm not going to restrict them completely, because I want to trigger his body to use carbohydrates effectively. People make that mistake. They're like, I just need to take out carbs because I need to lose all this weight and lose all this fat. Like, no, you don't need to take out everything. Like, what are you training your body to do? You want your body to use carbohydrates efficiently and effectively, so keep them in the diet just enough so he's still in a calorie deficit, so he's going to get the results, and we're still just popping in carbs when we need to. So with the rice, that's the difference between going with white, that's a little bit faster digesting, versus like a slower brown rice. So we're staying away from brown rice for now. It's not like one is healthier over the other. It's just how fast you're digesting your food. So I think any of these white rices would actually be fine.
Extra fluffy or light fluffy? Or the jasmine?
Let's go jasmine. I mean, that's just the one that I like a little bit more. Let's get a couple of these.
Yeah.
Or anyway. Jasmine's a favorite. They're a little bit longer rice than regular white. As far as oils go, all of this shit, all of this, it makes me mad when I think of this stuff. It's straight poison, bro. You don't want any of this stuff in your system. It's all refined, not good stuff. Only stuff you want to go with, avocado oil is good. Coconut oil is a little bit higher in saturated fats, but is great in the morning with eggs if you want to have that. What I'm going to have John use is, what are you looking at?
I don't know, I'm just looking at that.
I mean, there's safflower, there's a bunch of different kinds of oil, but anything that's not in glass, that's a good thing to look at. Anything that's not in glass, don't use it. Well, we're going to find a good olive oil. And depending on the store, you can get some really good stuff, but you want to make sure that, see, like these aren't glass. Any of these that aren't, they're not going to be holding their color. And sometimes there's some little things down at the bottom, but what basically want to look for is to find a bottle date. This one actually has it on it, which is kind of rare to have. When it has a date on there of when it was actually sealed in the bottle, that's extremely important for the purity of the olive oil. And it's one of those that, I mean, that you can put in your body as much as possible. It's probably one of the best nutrients that you can put in your body as far as energy goes and metabolism, and it's one of those secrets for getting younger too, believe it or not. Yeah. A lot of olive oil in the diet. So I'm not seeing the one I normally get, but I think I might go with
The one you picked up was what?
yeah. This will last you a while, and it's got the date on there. So it was literally bottled. Oh no, it's up until this year. Cool. So that's a good choice for him.
What are your thoughts on peanut oil?
Peanuts are highly inflammatory. So anybody, like, people are gonna hate me for saying that you shouldn't have peanut butter, but for the most part, if you're it causes kind of like that leaky gut syndrome where your body's not digesting the way you should. And even like someone like me, for example, I do really well with peanuts. I don't really notice much of a difference. If you are someone like me that could do that, then by all means you can throw it in here and there. I just wouldn't put peanuts in the diet all the time. Just because it's like a bunch of those different inflammatory foods. There's a lot of people that have problems with dairy. And there's some people that have gluten, all those different things. I would just test it out because every single person is an individual, right? We have our own individual needs. So I would test it out, see how you feel. But peanut oil, anything that comes from peanuts is not right now. We're getting the sugars later. But I would just stick with the healthier type. You have the extra virgin olive oil. You have coconut oil, which you have in there moderately, not too much, but moderately. And then you can use there are some different types of like Mediterranean type oils, which we can get into in another video, but I would just stick with the basics. Extra virgin olive oil, can't get enough of, coconut oil, done. Alright, we have about a cup per meal, so you're gonna need more than this. We need more veggies. So we have green beans. You can either get fresh, but I mean the steamables make it so easy. Always say that fresh is better than frozen. Frozen is better than canned. So if anything, I would stay away from canned stuff. But I've been eating either fresh or frozen veggies for the last 10 years, and I think it's been working pretty fine.
Okay. Is that good?
Do one more broccoli.
One more broccoli. Got it, boss. Oh shit, what's this, man?
Do they have florets?
Oh, they do.
I like those better than the cuts.
Pull them in here. Go like this. Maybe this is enough.
Alright, so we need okay. Got thanks. So John needs his last meal, post-workout meal. We're increasing his protein a lot in that meal because his body's going to be able to absorb it and start to recover. So he's having 8 ounces. If he's only having 4 meals a day, this meal's a little bit higher than normal. So 8 ounces of boneless skinless chicken breast with these. I've even had these before where even though they're in a frozen state right now, you could take them as a frozen state and put them right on a grill top and they'll cook extremely fast and they'll still hold the juices, which is great. But he'll probably bake them in the oven. Again, not as big as I thought. Last foods, 7 ounces of meat. I'll probably get 3. And it'll stay good for a while. So we have chicken in his diet. Normally I would like to have beef in there, but because of the gout problem, there's a few different nutrients in beef that will make the gout kind of, I don't know, it would show itself a little bit more. Some flare-ups and all that. There's a few different foods that he's going to be avoiding for that. Beef is just one of them going through.
Just for a couple months.
Yeah, just for a couple months, we're gonna see how he does. So we switch chicken in there, which doesn't have as many micronutrients as beef does, but for his purpose, specific purpose, I'll go with chicken. But normally the protein sources that are my favorites that I'll have in almost every single diet that I'll write up is whole eggs, just because of the amount of nutrients, a good like grass-fed beef, and salmon. Salmon's one of the best. I would have a lot of fish is good too, but salmon, as far as the nutrients that go in it, one of the best. So those are the top 3 for me: eggs, really good beef, and salmon. Eggs are extremely important too. If it's for budget's sake and you wanted to go with just regular eggs, I mean, I went years just eating normal white eggs that you get at a grocery store, and that's been fine. But the free-range type eggs are definitely better ones. I usually go for the color, pasture-raised, free-range type eggs. But you have to be careful with some of these. If you get into the specifics of it, of like how the chickens were raised, sometimes they can label it free range, and all that means is that the chickens had a door that was about this tall that they could leave and go out of the huge, enormous warehouse that they're in if they wanted to, and they can technically, legally label it free range, even though the chicken never went outside. So, fun fact that it could happen, it could not, but you're better off getting some organic, basic free-range eggs. I've seen Vital Fox is pretty good. So, I mean, it just depends on what your budget is, what you want to go for. I think regular organic eggs are probably the best you can get, so that's what we're going to do. John has, you have 3 whole eggs in egg whites. We'll get to the egg whites in a second. So 3 whole eggs. Normally the good stuff comes in just 12s. These are the better ones.
Yep.
Depends how much you want to drop, bro.
Well, I think we're under 100, so I think we're good.
Oh, this is the XL rolls. Oh, this deal making 3 eggs too. I want those omega 3 eggs. Probably only 3 eggs. Okay. So as you can see today, there are plenty of egg whites loaded up here, which normally, with my luck, every time I come to the store, they're gone. But what's great about these liquid egg whites is that you can actually drink them. They don't, it depends on the texture, if you're okay with it. I mean, they don't really have much of a taste at all. So when I'm in a hurry, sometimes I'll just pour a cup and take it back, and you just get, 25 grams of pure protein, no problem. But what I'm gonna have him do, just so you're not cracking eggs, he's separating the egg whites and all that for his first meal. He has a cup of liquid egg whites and then 3 whole eggs in his first meal. So this is the easiest way to go, which is not too bad as far as the price. These are a little cheaper. Actually, no, they're not. Get the bigger one. So I believe there's 4 cups in each of these. Get just 2 of these. And they work really well in shakes too, if you want to mix in some protein in a shake.
So everyone's probably gonna come here because they got the sexiest man bagging.
So tiny.